So the lead generating is a habit to get into, and 3 months from now is when?
You'll
Not soon enough.
3 months from now. When is 3 months? What is the date?
First quarter.
New Year.
No, the date, the actual day in 3 months from now.
January 15th.
Wow, this is like rocket science in here, you guys. I'm just warming you up so your brains are starting to work so we can like really have a good session today. So what you're doing now, you're gonna start really getting the like yes, and how great is that to be starting the new year off? January 15th, you got these people going, you're showing them properties, you're listing their places, you're doing all that stuff. I'm telling you, you will be thanking yourself later, guaranteed, right? What you did in the spring, you're getting now.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, and a door knocker I did a couple of weeks ago will be on the market this weekend.
Wow, how the hell did that happen?
Stole
That is amazing, did you?
them. Yep,
Really?
my first deal.
You stole them.
I stole
What does that mean?
them.
This is good, this
he,
is good.
He wasn't, so when I first met him, door knocking him, he said that he was gonna be on the market October 1st. He was working with a friend. I said, have you signed with him? He said, he didn't actually say it. I'm like, no problem. And I kept going.
Wow.
And then we had a chat, and I was like, no problem. Like, I'm not here to steal you at all. Like, that's not anything we do. And good luck. It's fantastic. I can't wait to see it. And so I kept going. And then a few days later, I dropped a note card off, said, thanks for the chat. I hope it goes well. I look forward to seeing the listing. And I liked it.
Drip, 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 drip.
And a few days later,
Shaking the tree.
shaking the tree. A few days later, I walked down the same street again, and he's like, hey, thanks for the note card. So I
Wow.
crossed the street. Hey, Eric, how's it going? We had another chat. Fantastic. I'm like, how's it going with the listing? I'm like, you ready to roll? Well, I don't know, my friend, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, you know, we're out here. Let me know. If you need help, we're happy to help. And I
Good
kept
for you.
walking.
So what area is this approximately?
East End. East End,
East York.
Danforth, Greenwood area.
Good, cool.
And I kept walking, and 2 days later, there was the email. Can you come and give a listing presentation? I'm like,
Wow.
absolutely.
Good for you. See, these are results, you guys. So get your head in the game. So back to this quickly, but getting back to this. Lead generating daily habits. You guys have learned this, right? Like this is, I'm late to the game on this one. 10 new contacts to your database daily. Speak with 10 people in your database daily. Write 10 notes daily. So guess what that means? By session, what's the date? Session 7, that's where you're supposed to, your numbers should be. Just for the last 2 days. Give yourself 5 a day even. That's a 50% success. Okay? 10 daily. Okay? Woo! Real estate is lead generating. Has anybody learned that already? Keller Williams, that's all they do is drill it into your head and it's not a lie. Okay, so what's today's topic? Oh, what about handwritten notes? Does anybody write the handwritten notes? No follow-up. Joe, 0. Dude, you're like,
Terrible.
how do you guys need like accountability? Do you need
win-win.
like people to tell you, force you?
It's a win when you do
You're
it.
gonna like pay them? Do like people, do you need to pay somebody? I had this thing, I was in this mastermind group, I had to write a check if I didn't do something. Like $1,000 I had to write to my biggest competition. If I didn't do it, because that was like,
Motivation.
yes.
The trick is to write the check before.
That's what I did, I had to write it, and I had it ready if I didn't do it. But I'm like super goal oriented, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Okay, note follow-up, 2 notes. Note, I'm just telling you, notes are really easy. Like, you're not talking to anybody, you can write it to your freaking mother. Okay, this is good, Kevin. Wait, you're Kevin, right? Wow, look at that, 5, 5, 15, 25, 35, 39, that is winner. What about agent open houses? Agent open houses, 5 here. What is going on here? Okay, another easy win is an open house, agent open house. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there's like tons. It's very, very easy. So let me tell you about agent open houses. The big goal is, so my big trick, have I ever told you about how to do an agent's open house? Yes, no?
No.
So you go to the open house, you write it down, then you check the next, and then you guess what it's gonna sell for. And then a week later, you rate yourself. Because that's how you're gonna know how to market. Like, you have to decide, remember what you just said, write it beforehand? Write it beforehand. So you go into something that's listed at $1 million, like I went to a house on St. Clarence, it was $799. The clients asked me, of course I'm showing it, how much is it gonna go for? I don't know. But if you don't have some sort of like educated guess, like this is what they're gonna ask you all the time, right? Before it sells, they're gonna ask you how much it's gonna sell for. So this is your little game to play, and it'll teach you very quickly how to come up with numbers fast. And the more agents open houses you go to, the more you check out the prices afterwards, the faster you'll be an expert in this real estate game. And that's what they're asking you for, right? So, we're into successful marketing, servicing your listing. That's what today's topic is. Stage the property, market the listing, communicate with sellers. What have we learned already? Anything about listings? Last week? Was there any topic about listings?
Pricing we discussed.
Pricing we discussed.
Price to sell.
And what was the plan? Price to sell?
Price to
That was the
sell.
theory?
Yeah.
And what were the instructions? Just Cole's notes?
Based on the comparables and the market, what's the market, not on based on what seller.
What's the seller on? That's number one. That's a very good point. Okay, anything else about listings that we learned already? I don't want to cover it twice, because we've already learned it.
If you price it properly, you sell quickly, or if you overprice it, you will stay for a longer time. But if you underprice it sometimes, like maybe it's a good strategy, but half of the seller wants to sell.
It's emotional, like well, it's a risk reward, right? I'm just looking how to open this door. Okay, so this leads me into this whole list to sell kind of thing. So when you say you price it properly, then it's going to sell. This is a big psychological thing that I have. You say it's going to sell, so why do you even need to stage? Why do you need to do anything? You know what I mean? So
Most money for the property.
well, that's the thing we have to remember. So, because what happens is,
You want to sell
yes,
it fast?
price is one part of it, but how much do we maximize it?
Right.
Because you kind of have to get your head around that. This is not only about pricing your property, because I even have it. I'm like, well, if you price it well, then it'll sell anyway, right? And sellers go, why do I even need you? I just underprice it, put it on the market, sell itself. That's what they say.
But are you leaving 80,000 on the table?
Are you accepting an offer with crazy weird conditions? Are you doing all sorts of other stuff like we do? Are you getting the wrong buyer? You know, when you're pricing it incorrectly and or not staging it, for example. Like if a house doesn't look good, cute little young buyers get freaked out. Even though it's the exact same house, same wiring, same plumbing, same windows, same roof, but if it has like purple walls, I'm telling you, it's gone down $10,000. You spend $1,000 on paint, you get $10,000 back every time. Every time. That's it. You're done. That was today's little lesson. Cheap and cheerful, paint and lighting. Those are your two biggest upgrades, the cheapest things you can do. Get rid of the purple, the lime green, the like light, you know, that nasty track lighting that's been there for 40 years. You can get a new track lighting that looks sort of modern and you're like golden. It costs you $100 and you're definitely $1,000 ahead. Now, if you do a kitchen and you spend $10,000 on a kitchen, you don't necessarily get $100,000 back. So that's why it's like, be careful of the larger renos because they don't always translate. They help, but they don't always translate. But staging the property, does anybody list the property here? I'm gonna go through the basics. Hey, how are ya? Well, you've listed lots of properties. Listed properties. No listings, no listing. Yes, you have?
It's a co-listing agreement.
A co-listing?
Yeah, for my parents' place. They just started out, so.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's an
Your
interesting.
parents, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's the worst.
You're telling me.
You
You're telling
know.
me. Oh, Jesus.
Trying to explain to your parents and they're like, you don't really know what you're talking about.
Not so much my mom, it's my father.
Exactly.
It's been sitting there for, 45 days and I think it's priced too high. Try to explain that to him, he'll just get insulted. And I said, okay, fine, we can let it sit and Then he's blaming the other agent, saying that he hasn't done enough. And I'm saying, we're in every bloody magazine, so I mean, well, what more can the guy do? And he's,
This is what you did.
well, it was actually this weekend, I had a friend over, he's also a realtor, and we did some, was in the furniture business and so forth. So we did my own sort of staging, where we kind of moved some couches downstairs. I made a nice TV area, black
There we go.
couches and matched some other things. It totally made a different look though. I have to say that.
So if you think about it from a seller's point of view, if you have to reduce the house by $5,000, which is a very small reduction, just as an FYI. If it's, you know, 800,000 or 500,000, you know, 5,000 is very low. If it's not selling, would you go down 5,000? Probably, you'd probably maybe go down 25,000. So if you think about it, the staging, you get them to pay $2,000, $3,000, you get a professional stager, not you, no offense,
That's okay.
with rental furniture, all looking pretty, a designer who actually comes in and knows what they're doing and makes it all good. It makes a huge difference. But the goal is to do it prior to listing, not halfway through. You can do it halfway through, but you're up against emotions, you're pissed off, they're pissed off, the buyers think there's something wrong with it, you know, we're way down the line as far as losing market momentum. Now is the time, the very beginning, to set the stage. And everybody says to me, they're like, Julie, your listings always look so good. I'm like, yeah, because I'm like the boss. And I'm like, ask Kathy, she was a client. So you walk in and you're like, no, everything has to be cleaned, everything has to be decluttered, all of this has to go, you have to pretend you don't live there, all of your coats, all your shoes, all your boots, everything. All your closets, nothing on the ground. You know, like that kind of stuff, basic, easy stuff, that's staging. It's all staging, you know? Staging can be rental, it can be painting, it can be anything, but it's basically faking. Fake it till you make it, but you're kind of like pretending you're in a magazine, right? You're pretending you're in a store. I sort of think of it as a store, a shop. You know? Lighting, music, ambiance, that's all sort of part of it, right? So that's where we're going. This is life in the fast lane. Staging prop, stage prop, and discuss staging objections. Do I have a book that I'm supposed to be following here? Well, where's the page 15?
I think it's PDF file, it just goes down. You just,
This is page 15? Oh, this is 13 to 15? Oh, there, what, I don't see the 15.
No, if you go down, maybe.
Yeah, it's
Right,
the
actually,
bottom there, bottom center.
Where is it? I'm sorry, I'm spazzing out here. This is not it. Do you guys have a book?
yeah.
Were you guys given manuals?
Yeah. it's-
Yeah, where's page 15? What's on page 15?
The importance of staging.
Password is a grade A.
It's a great idea.
It says there's staging objections on
Yeah, it
page
says,
15.
yeah, one is, I don't see why this is so important.
There you go.
Do we really have to make this repair? And why can't we sell the house as is?
Those are very good, typical, very typical objections. So let's do a little group discussion here. What do you think?
For which one?
First question.
The first one, I don't see why this is important.
I don't see why this is important. So can you help explain to me what you would say to a seller? You're walking into a house and you're like, they're gonna list with you. What would you say about staging?
It definitely increase the value of the property.
And what does that mean?
uh, To cover the bats that showed in the house.
Right?
To show goods and more emotional goods to the buyers or anybody that walk into the house.
Right? Okay, that's good. What else? So be careful of when you say definite, just as an FYI.
Okay.
Does it definitely add value? You're helping us, right? Like, none of us are in control of what it's gonna sell for. A buyer's gonna choose what it's gonna buy it for. But it will give you a very good opportunity to maximize the value, right? We're showing it in its best light.
Okay.
That's sort of more along the lines of what you wanna sort of
Yeah,
verbally sort of say.
Yeah.
We're showing it in its best light. We're like taking away some of that emotional crap. I'm just saying, people like families who have children want a play area, but they want it to look like an adult area just for showing, because they can like imagine all the dirty, messy toys, but a nice tidy, area, like for example, every condo I say, you need to be able to have a dinner party. Every condo, that's my rule, that's my rule. You have to be able to, in reality, are they gonna have a dinner party in a condo? No, probably not. They're probably gonna eat at the breakfast bar. But they need to have that, I have this great lifestyle and I'm investing in my future and, I'll take. They're imagining their life. Even though, once you get it, you should see my own home office, it's a mess. I imagine it to be gorgeous. And when I sell it, it will. It'll look good for that day. And of course, the next day I will mess it up again. That's reality, but damn, I like those fancy home offices and I go into people's houses and I'm like, so cool, so good.
So it helps create an emotional tie to the buyer,
Yeah,
where they can see
like they're living the
see
dream.
the fantasy.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
oh, this is fantastic. I know. Oh yeah, Jimmy, can you just see our king bed over here? Right?
Totally.
They don't even have a king bed.
Exactly.
Right?
Buyers can always project their stuff into a property, but they can't remove something that's
Right.
already there,
That's
right?
exactly it. Now, think about the future. Now, where is the future going on this? I think it's going to be just like those TV shows where, they change the, how a designer comes and shows it to them on a computer. We're just gonna remove all this and we're gonna put these walls and remove that wall and paint this wall and all that. And that might be the future, but right now we're still into that, nuts and bolts, the physical. I went and saw a house the other day. These people are selling it. Unfortunately, they're listing with somebody else because they were signed up. It's my neighbor who never called me, but she's desperate. She has to sell it now. I'm like, if you had called me, I would have told you this is what I would do. For example, it's messy. It's really messy. They're halfway moved out. She's been there 45 years. Her husband died, all that stuff. It doesn't look good. And I'm like, it will sell faster for that alone. Just move your crap out. All those, what are they called? Pods?
Yep.
You guys see those pods around?
Yeah.
Do you know what a pod is?
Yeah.
So it's like a big white metal.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah, they're moving and they're preparing for sale, not moving. They're preparing for sale. I often move a client's whole house out, or half their house. Couches, chairs, furniture, boxes, their whole basement. If you saw my basement now, it's like a mess, crazy full of boxes, sports equipment, all that stuff. If I were to sell, it would all be gone for 2 weeks. And then it would come back, just like my animals. They'll come back too. But when you're selling them, there's no dogs, there's no cats, there's no kids, there's nothing. It's just beautiful music, lots of lighting, neutral walls, and we're good. Okay? It's fake, but it's good. It works. Totally works. Okay.
You said dinner party for
Yes, condos.
are you planning to sell condo?
Yes.
Then you host a dinner party with buyers or you strong?
No, what I mean is set up a dining room table there. Those
Stage
bistro
it,
sets and
Place
stuff.
balls of wine.
Okay, snacks and all you're talking about.
Yeah, just a table with chairs so they can actually see it there.
Okay.
And you can rent it or buy it. You can buy cheap ones at IKEA or something like that, bring it in yourself. You can hire a staging company to bring it in. But the reality is that, I won't generalize, but single dudes, when you're selling their condos, they don't look like they're ready to entertain usually, unless they're fancy boys. Like Mr. AirPod. Just teasing.
One time.
One time, don't worry, I haven't here. But it's like bringing the furniture in. So it's moving their big stereo speakers out.
And your video games.
The
Video games are a big one. A big part.
Waterbed.
Moving all that stuff out. And the other thing is staging, another little tip, you're only getting my own personal stuff, I should be following this better, but whatever, is
This is better.
TVs. Everybody needs a TV. You know that whole, we don't need a TV in the family room or the formal room, I'm like, you need a TV. Everybody needs a TV, and if they can't figure out where to put the TV, I guarantee they're gonna be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and then they start an objection. It's like the stupidest objection in the world. Well, where am I gonna put my TV? You can put it anywhere. But they need to see a television.
Interesting.
90% of the people.
Really?
There's only very few people who are like,
They actually don't watch TV.
Exactly.
There's people who say they don't watch TV, and there's people who actually don't watch
That's
TV.
a very small percentage of the
Yeah.
population. And I know people watch it on their computers and all that crap, but reality is, if they start worrying about things like that, they're losing the
Just
picture.
hours
Yes.
there.
Yes,
Like, where do I put this?
exactly. Oh, so do you guys remember, now I've been in the business a long time, so I remember when there was no staging. Like, everything looked like terrible, nobody painted their rooms, nobody cared about the lighting, nobody changed the furniture. But it was a real turning point when the condos started staging their little bedrooms, you know, like new build condos have showrooms and stuff like that. That, I think, was like the major turning point, because those bedrooms in condos are minuscule. Like, we're talking, you know, 8 by 8, very small. Does a bed even fit in there? And if you do not have furniture in a vacant place, guaranteed you're down $10, $20, $30,000. Guaranteed, maybe more. Depends on the price of the place to begin with. You cannot sell vacant bedrooms in these little condos. Maybe in a big condo that
That's
feels like
true.
humongous, maybe.
Do those exist?
They do exist, not very many, but they do, and they're very expensive. But the reality is that all these little cookie cutter boxy things, if you can't fit a double bed in there, people are like, ah, I'm out. So, and again, even me, I mean, I have been in this business so long, you'd think that I wouldn't fall for this shit, and I fall for it every time. I like nice art. It looks good. Oh, good, I've got 2 bedside tables. I could live in here. This is good, I could live here. I showed my partner a place the other day, a loft, and she's like, no, there's no closet space. If they had put a closet, I'm like, you could build a closet, doesn't matter, it looks bad, no. So that was a bad idea, it didn't work out. So I was thinking about buying one now, investing, maybe I could live in it in the future and whatever. But it's very hard for downsizers, like when you live in a house to go to a condo, very hard. Kathy's a good example. You see, I know her life story. You see?
Yeah.
How hard was it to move from a house to a condo?
It was very hard. I got rid of a lot of stuff, gave it to my friends, but just this March, I unpacked the last box.
Yeah, it takes forever.
It
But
does.
emotionally, how did it feel when you were buying your new build condo? So Kathy, do you guys know Kathy's story? So she's a member of the JKT, the Julie Kinnear team. Met her as a client. She had bought new build without me, so that's a little tick against her, but other than that, we're all good.
Clearly that didn't matter.
I know. A couple years later, she joins the team, but you bought a new build. How did that buying experience go with like the showroom and the model suite and all that?
It was fantastic. It took 2 years, so I forgot a lot of things.
Okay, so you saw it and then 2 years later you closed on it.
Yeah, I closed on it.
But what about the buying part of it when you saw it for the first time? What did it look like?
When I actually stepped in?
No, like originally.
Originally.
Showroom.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, what was
Yeah.
amazing about it?
Well, everything, I could see myself, the space, it looked huge.
It looks huge. Imagine that, a condo that looks huge.
Yeah, it's a restaurant now, right up here. And the floors were great, and then just the sales guy, he was awesome. And he just told me I could have everything I wanted, if I wanted a gas fireplace and all of that. And then, so I was pretty excited, and the clincher was I was the first one. I'm gonna be the first one in there.
Right,
And I could design it the way I want it. We could do some using, you know, not so much of walls, but if I wanted things differently, I could do that, so.
These are really good tips, by the way, if you're showing your clients new build condos. And I would encourage you to get buyers who want new build condos. You can be their realtor. They don't have to walk into the showroom and do it themselves. You can represent them. So the same theory goes with that sort of showroom where you can see the nice floors and you can see all that. Floors are a big thing, by the way. Refinished floors, hardwood floors, make a huge difference, and it's very cheap upgrade. It's like $1,000 to do, like maybe less, to do a main floor of a house. And it goes from old scratchy dog, kid, 100-year-old floors to like, ooh, this is nice, nice color, sheen, matte finish, newer sort of brown instead of the dark brown or the really light. Parquet, you can refinish parquet and it looks 1,000 times better. It's trendy and hipster now. But what you said about it, you're going to be the first one. That's what fresh paint looks like too, just as a reminder. Fresh paint, easy upgrade, $2,000 looks like $20,000 because it looks fresh and new and, you know, all nice. It's been lived in for a while. Okay, what's next? Marketing the listing. What's on page 16? 14-step marketing plan. You got your book here, right here, dude. Show us what's on page 14.
For it.
we're in session 6. No, 5.
6, so,
Six.
yeah,
6.
Okay.
Here we go.
14-step marketing plan.
14-step marketing plan. 14-step marketing plan?
Yeah. Oh, Lord, you already covered one.
Today's expectations. Our head is in the game. We're staging the property. This is it. Marketing the listing. Can you start reading it out? First step in marketing the listing is,
Price the home competitively with the current market and the price trends.
which we covered already. Next.
Advise sellers on how to attract buyers by showing their home in the best possible light.
Okay, have you talked about that yet?
Yeah.
What? That's staging?
Yeah.
Okay, there's other things too.
That's possible. Like
That's possible
decluttering.
light. Decluttering.
Yeah.
Well, also, no people there, no kids there, no
The
dogs.
seller should not be there.
Seller should not be there, that's a humongous one. That's the best possible light, allowing showings at any time. I'm sorry, I'm Julie.
I'm Laura.
Hi Laura, thanks for coming. Okay, so best possible light would be easy to show, you know.
Don't let your renter control the times that you're showing.
Well, tenants are difficult.
9 to 9, 24 hours notice.
What I usually do
How do you
is,
deal with
I don't do 24-hour notice. I say to the renter, the tenant, let's set a schedule that we know that you can live with, and then we don't have to give you notice. So we'll say like you're out working or whatever, walking your dog or whatever you do,
on these days between this time?
and then they feel in control a bit of the
Good
situation,
tip.
and we don't have to give 24 hours notice. So we can put the actual showing. You can show Wednesdays between, 4 and 8 p.m., Tuesdays between whatever and whatever, so everybody has a bit of choice and control.
Now, what if the tenant has an animal? Do you try to,
You can't force tenants to do
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
They're messy and stuff like that, so often I pay them a month's rent and try and get a cleaner in there and that sort of thing, but,
You can,
yeah,
Yeah.
not me, the owner. It's part of the marketing process.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Place for sale signs with property flyers easily accessible to drive-by buyers.
Okay, so, you know what's really funny? This happens, like everything you guys are learning, this is real life. So on Thursday, first of all, my for sale sign went up a day early, which wasn't ideal, but whatever. So just be prepared, that's the sort of shit that happens. Next is they put it, like the street goes like this, but they put it this way because the property's kind of on a corner, and they're like trying to be legal and all that stuff. But I'm like, so I literally, on Thursday, get the sign, I get my own tools, I dig a hole, I move the sign, I cut the things, I got new ties, and so I did it myself. All I'm gonna say is that's what you gotta do. You gotta do whatever it takes. The day before, I brought my own vacuum to my own listing and started cleaning the whole place because it looked like shit. So these are the things you have to do, but the for sale sign in the right place is important. Very key. So go buy your listings and make sure that it's set properly, because the sign guy might not do it right.
Maybe you could have ordered 2 signs.
I did. That was the second sign. The first one was great. The first one's on the front of the frame, it looked fine, but the second one is a little awkward. Anyway, I spent like 2 hours doing that, but place for sale sign with property flyers. Okay, what are property flyers? Does your dad and mom have property flyers on their sign?
Property flyers in regards to.
What's that? This is why you're taking Ignite, this is so good.
Essentially, there's two for sale signs. One is myself on one side of the property, and everybody from the west going east can see my sign, and his sign's on the other side.
It's interesting.
And I got
Maybe a
my
bit
appointment
confusing.
only,
Might be good.
and,
You might want to have the same sign.
mhm.
What I sort of do is I put the sign and then maybe their name is on the MLS listing or something like that. So you would get the leads from the sign, they would get the leads from Realtor.ca. It's a good co-op where you're not confusing the situation
Yeah,
too much.
to me, it does seem a little confusing. He advised me to put your sign up, get some notice type of thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay, do you have info box flyers?
I don't believe so.
Right. What are info box flyers?
You take a box and you zip tie it to your for sale signs and you put a
What
bunch of
kind of box?
plastic waterproof box.
Plastic waterproof box.
Yes.
Good
Where
answer.
do you get those?
Where do you get them? Where do you get them?
I don't, never put them on.
Where do you get them? You don't have info box flyers?
Our storage unit, I don't know where she buys them yet.
Signs of me.
Treb has a
Treb
store.
sells-
Yeah,
Is it all from Trev?
yeah. They have lots of those little,
Like, please remove your
Remove
shoes,
shoes.
that kind of stuff.
yeah, they do.
What is,
So,
what is the name you said?
we call, it's an info box flyer, so basically it's like a take one. There's different, I mean, they're different shapes. Some people put them like square ones and they roll them up. Some people have the take and you just open. The key is that they're waterproof, so they sort of snap back. So basically it means, so this is old school marketing, you guys. This is marketing 101, but guess what? People walk by the property and they're walking their dog and they'd love to remember the sign. QR codes did not work. That was like a,
You know what? They actually changed it now on the native camera on your phone. It can scan a QR code,
oh,
which was
that's
sort of
much
the problem
better.
before. You needed a QR code
I
scanner
know.
app, and nobody had them, so it was just useless. But now you can,
Oh,
with
really?
your actual
Okay.
camera, you can scan them. Samsung and iPhone.
And so we need to
I
get
don't
that
know
out
who
there.
knows that.
I know, that's the other thing, right?
So you just put the MLS listing in there?
That's a good question. Joe, good one. Okay, you don't use it, you don't do it?
I've never
Dude,
done
you list lots of properties. It's a good little thing. So basically it's for the dog walkers, people hanging around the neighborhood. It's for people driving by, they might stop and grab it. I don't put the MLS because that's very generic. So I do my own, but you
It's like
could
a
do
little
whatever you
feature
want.
sheet type?
It's called like, you know, what is it, practice on perfection or whatever? You can start with an MLS. You can move your way up in the world, but anything is better than nothing, essentially. So I did College Pro Painters. You guys know College Pro Painters? It was like in university days. I ran a little painting franchise, and they said you need to market it 7 times. Like the people have to see it 7 different ways. So it's all online, right? You have your website, it's on MLS, realtor.ca and all that sort of stuff. But then there's your sign, there's your info box, then there's the open houses, then there's your neighbor talking about it. You need like numerous ways for them to just be inundated with it before they go, oh, I should maybe buy that house. It's not, they don't just see the pictures online and buy it, they don't just drive by and buy it. It's a combination of all of them. So this is just adding to it. What's next?
Yeah, respond to all buyer inquiries immediately,
What does immediate mean?
right away.
Yeah, how fast is right away? Is it the same day?
As
Same
soon as
hour?
you see it, you call them.
I think within like 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you start to lose
Yes. Is that what they teach you in
the
Bold?
ratio or percentage conversion.
Yeah, it is.
Something like that.
It is like something
It's-
like that. So it's like every hour, their percentage of going down. Like I got a call on Friday from a realtor who wanted to refer us business. And I was like worried after 20 minutes, I was afraid that they had called somebody else. You know what I mean? I was like, shit, but I was in a meeting and I missed it. So like half an hour later, I'm like, am I too late? Did you get somebody else? Like it's that fast. You could lose business that fast. So immediate is as soon as possible. Next.
Optimize the home's internet presence by posting your property in the Keller Williams listing systems, KWLS.
We don't have that in Canada.
Well,
But we do have the KWG GPS, yeah.
there's KWNR. We have a Facebook page. They upload it and they put it on their stuff and it can be on your little board right here. There's a million different things. Getting it to KW is important.
Yeah, after that it says local and global MLS systems, and on social media with plenty of photographs and a description of the property.
Okay, so, again, you guys are getting like really good shit from me today. This is like,
Top
just
secret.
try to remember it. Do not list your property without pictures. There are people who still do that.
I know.
It kills me. Or even one, do not, it's all or nothing.
What's
You
with the
go-
people who post photos this big?
Or bad photos where you're on your phone. But I'm just telling you, when it says photos coming, you're dead. Like, they've already seen it. That first impression, that very first impression is everything, and it's all photos. So, social media, who has a Twitter account here? Put your hand up. 1, 2. Wow, Jesus, Murphy. Okay, we gotta up our levels here. Who wants to be successful here?
Do you use Twitter a lot?
Yeah, man, everybody, you gotta use it all. It's free.
Facebook.
Listen, young dude, you're saying Facebook. I thought Facebook was out for young people.
It is.
How? It's uncool. Are we even talking about Facebook?
No, you have to. Well, Instagram.
No, this is good. I want you to like help me out here, help me understand, because you're like 22,
All the social media.
21.
You're not that young,
21. It's 21. Has he even heard of Facebook? I mean, I don't even know.
Oh, in terms of like paid advertising, Facebook is killing everyone right now.
There you go.
That's why.
This is good stuff. This is important. Okay. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
LinkedIn.
anything else?
And
LinkedIn.
YouTube.
I still don't know how that Twitter helps.
So when people are searching, what you do is you put the area in, right? So for example, I live in Roncesvalles, so I would put in Roncesvalles real estate for sale. And so if somebody's searching Twitter, like you can, I'm a big fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs, so if I put in Maple Leafs, I get all little posts about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Or I get all the posts about Roncesvalles, or I get all the posts about farmers markets, or I get all the posts about, you know, your dog, blah, blah, dog parks. Whatever you're looking for, if you're,
And just add the link.
and you just add the link to your, whatever, listing. Okay. Does everybody have a Facebook page here, or a Facebook account? Wow, so Facebook does work, see? It's big. What about Instagram?
Yeah.
Not a
Yes,
chance.
so 50-50, do you have Instagram?
That's where the youth hang out.
What about Snapchat?
It's garbage.
What about it? Is it bad?
I don't find it useful at all.
It's for teenage girls, man.
The average user age is like 16.
That's
I
what
bet,
my
or
daughter said.
13 or
Average
14.
average
Probably
user
less.
Over 30s.
Yeah, I've never even looked at Snapchat. I don't even know how it works.
That's what my daughter said. She said, does it Snapchat help me to promote my business? Mom, this is for kids.
It is for
But you
kids.
can see what everybody is.
Right.
It's creepy.
And it's in the little map, you can see everything.
It was the default setting.
I know.
Who's the little person? Oh, my friend is in China. Oh, really? How do you see it?
That's Crazy Rich Asians, remember? That was so funny. That was like instant. Did everybody stop like a movie? It's a good example of social media. Okay, so Instagram, Facebook, everything, like whatever. LinkedIn is free, right?
Oh, that's true.
So the way to improve your Facebook and social media and all that kind of stuff, what's the best way to improve these things?
Use them.
Use them, get friends, followers, follow other people, right? Are you on Facebook? Do you follow others? Are you constantly trying to get more people?
Not just random people. I'd rather get people that I know.
Right, okay, so then you get their friends?
If I know you and I know your friend, yeah, that will be my Facebook.
Right, so it's important. The theory is you're supposed to get lots, but I'm the same way. I'm cautious. A lot of realtors follow me. I'm like, can I have like
I
real
know
people?
realtors follow me. I don't want to follow them.
But then realtors, in some ways, are your friends because they might sell your property, you know? Like, you kinda, it's a,
I kind of need them.
no, you do need them, I agree.
Yeah, you don't need them.
So other ways, for example, my LinkedIn became really a lot stronger when I asked a few friends of mine to write a review. Not friends, like clients and stuff like that. So you get reviews on Facebook, you get reviews on LinkedIn and that sort of thing. I'm telling you, boost yourself way to the top.
Same with the Google page. Do you have a
Google.
Google page for your business?
Yes, I do.
When you get reviews on that, your Google page, like for example, the Julie Kinnear team, and you put this as your address. I know somebody at Keller Williams referred downtown. His Google page shows up before his brokerage
Wow.
because he's gotten more reviews.
Yeah.
More people search it than the actual brokerage.
Google reviews are huge. I mean, it's the same like when you're buying things on Amazon. Do you read the reviews? Yes. Do you read the reviews more than anything? Yes.
Yeah.
Whenever
Before
I'm
you go on
buying
vacation.
vacation,
Do you
booking.com.
Do you read the reviews? Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
TripAdvisor is all about reviews,
That's right.
right? So reviews are massive, so these are important little tidbits. When you're getting a client and you're working with, like if you just sold a property or you've been working with somebody, ask them to give you a review on Facebook, on Google, or whatever. If you Google us, we got lots of reviews. It's one of our things. Okay, next.
Market the home on multiple websites, including your own site, like KW local office and KW national sites, to attract both local and out-of-town buyers.
Did I ask if you all have websites? Anybody have a website? You have a website, look at that. You have a website? Well, you do.
Of course.
You're part of a fantastic team, but you don't have a website. No. You,
Not yet.
Trish has a website?
Trish has it.
Right. You got a
You have
website?
one?
We have one.
We.
We have it.
And
I have a
you,
website.
you did good? And what's
Just
it
a-
called?
It's one pager, martinjobney.com.
There you go.
Simple.
Easy,
White,
works.
little
What's on
description.
it?
Just a little description about me.
Yeah.
Sim-
Pictures?
Yeah, with the listing of the various places I put on there.
That's
You
good.
can click it, so it's a starting point. I'm saying it can be obviously be improved.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm working on it.
People need to be able to find you.
So
Like, you have to be findable, like, it's very important. Unfortunately, everybody finds you, so you can't, break the law or anything like that, but the reality is that it works.
How much time you spend for own social media?
Say that again?
How much time per day
How much time do I spend?
you spend for own social media?
Well, I have a team of people who I pay to run my website for me and my social media. Hence, I can be here, talking to you. And I just check on it occasionally, and I'm going to the hockey game, I'll do a little
To
selfie.
hire the person to do all the things, how much it costs per month?
There's all kinds of different levels, I would say, but the
See, that's a lot of time, that's so.
basically, the way marketing in real estate works is you pick a few things and you do them well, right? If you're into Facebook, do it well. Don't do everything. Just do one thing well, two things well, you know what I mean? Pick three and then do those. You can't do everything. So you kind of learn all this and you go, well, this is my way.
This is my skill.
Door
My
knocking.
wheelhouse.
This is my skill.
Outsource that.
That's right.
Find
And then
somebody
what
else to
happens
do
is you
this.
get a system, because I didn't always have a team, and I didn't always have assistants, and I didn't always have all that stuff. I did one thing, and then I'd get it, and it worked, and then I didn't change it,
How big
It's
is
the same email that I send to everybody, it's the same gift I send to everybody. You get an idea, you install the idea, and then you get a new idea, and then you add to that, so you're basically always building.
Can I ask a question about the person who's dealing with your social media and your
Yeah.
webpage?
They're young. How do you
I
like that?
suspect they're 12. But that's clearly not one of your team members, that's like something that
That's
you're
correct.
outsourcing.
Yeah. But they're part-time, right?
Sure.
They do lots of people's,
Yeah.
so we're just one of their clients.
From my research, the most crucial part about any internet presence is probably consistency, based on what I know. You can build organic traffic and, consistency and original content. So try and make a blend of like sharing and promoting because it's way quicker, but try to create content at least once a week. Because that's, when you search something on Google, original content always goes to the top.
People don't like paid advertising, and you get blacklisted by Google pretty quickly, otherwise. You're totally right.
But just in terms of like organic traffic, like say you write an article, for example, on like a development, and then somebody else references your article or shares your article, that traffic goes to you, not them. Because Google's like, okay, we can see that that is the same article as that, and that was posted first, so then they're just going to direct the traffic right to the original source.
And it's also branding, so that consistency is also in branding. So you have a logo, or you have a way, a style, and you always keep the same one. Like, you're not trying to reinvent the wheel everywhere, you're basically copying and pasting your own stuff. But like, all of your feature sheets look the same, that's the thing, right? You create a feature sheet and then it's done. Boom, you don't have to do it again. Your business card looks the same as your feature sheet. It's all a template, it's all a look, it's all a system. Okay, what's next?
Post the home of your branded KW app.
Do we have a branded KW app? I don't have an app.
Is that the one that?
Kelly? Is that Kelly?
No, it's not Kelly.
Oh, wait.
It's this one here,
Which one?
this one. KW.
Oh, that one, yeah, yeah. Good idea.
It shows all the KW, it shows all the.
Does it
listing.
automatically go on there? I think a lot of this
It
stuff
takes some
automatically
time.
goes.
Once it goes on an MLS, no matter where.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find out from Chelsea what they do.
And then it goes on here.
Let's get somebody who's the boss in here. Who here knows what happens to a listing when we give it to you, or what website it goes to? You're on the video. Is there a video going? Yeah. Where? I don't see it. Oh, it's a video. Didn't even know. Did you guys all know you were on video?
No?
Yes. Are we in video right now?
No, we're in video, so you're gonna stand behind the video, is that what you're doing? Okay, this is Daniela, now tell us what happens to a listing when you guys take it?
We put it on Broker Bay, all the show instructions. We put it on Facebook and my KW.
My KW,
Yeah,
okay.
those two, where we put it in.
Now Broker Bay also sends it out to other realtors, right? We have the new listing.
Yeah, send it out to.
So we're cooperating with a whole bunch of people who are also on Broker Bay.
Yes.
You guys know what Broker Bay is, right?
No.
Yeah, no, where's my
I think
people
broker
actually?
B is
It's our
for
exclusive.
exclusive listing, right? Not for
That's right, exclusive listings, before
MLS.
MLS, yeah. Broker Bay is what?
Our listing service. So we put all our listings in there, all our exclusives, all that fun
It's
stuff.
for appointments. It's the whole CRM program that, you know, it's basically, you know, when you go on an MLS listing and you press, I want to make an appointment, it will go to Broker Bay and Broker Bay will make the appointment.
Oh, I didn't know.
Do you know what kind of reach it has? How many people?
Just 13,000
13,000?
agents.
Mhm.
On Broker Bay.
13,000?
And there will be more. It's an awesome program. We finally have a good one.
It's awesome.
It works. Yay. Okay, so it automatically goes there and it goes to my KW.
Yes.
And what about that TV in the
Oh yeah, Chelsea uploads the new listings on that TV. When it sells, I think she puts it up for 2 weeks, and then she takes it down.
Cool.
Yeah, and then we have a listing board on the side
Right?
with all our listings too,
Mhm.
and it goes hand in hand with the TV.
Right. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
You're not on camera. Okay, keep going.
Create the flyers and comment cards for viewers of the property.
Anybody heard of comment cards? Have anybody seen that lately? You guys are sort of
Comment
getting-
card?
Yeah, I saw it at a listing the other day.
No.
Where you actually have like a little card that says like leave a note about what you thought about the place. It's kind of cool for an open house, you know? It's a little interactive. Maybe they can be put in a draw, get their real names, real phone numbers. Kind of fun, right? It's really the comments that we're looking for. It's exactly like what we were saying earlier as far as the feedback and what do people think and all that kind of stuff. And who's the most important person in this whole process of selling a property? The client, right? So they want to know feedback. So the first thing, for example, that Broker Bay would do would be send an email to say, how was your showing? You know how you get those?
Yeah.
When you show a property, it sends you, you know, how was your
That's
showing?
coming out of Broker Bay, okay.
Feedback.
That's the kind of thing that Broker Bay does.
Okay.
But they all do that, I hope.
I thought that was coming out of, like, say, whatever office had those.
It is
Well,
through the office,
It's
but
through the office.
office isn't through Broker Bay.
I see.
And James knows because he was the front desk
Right.
for a long
Of
time.
course.
He's got the inside scoop. He knows what crazy agents we are. And how horrible tenants can be. And how friendly we can be too. Okay,
Distribute just listed notices to neighbors, encouraging them to tell family and friends about the home.
so when a seller says, do I have to have an open house? What do you tell them? Speak up so everybody can hear.
So usually I advise them to do open house.
Yeah, you do advise them?
Yeah, I do advise them to do open house if they are not confident in that.
Mm-hmm.
But if they are willing to do it, so I will do it.
And why do you encourage them to do an open house?
From my own experience, I
Mhm.
think I saw only one or two houses on open house.
Okay,
I saw only neighbor to see and that's all. And sometimes
Okay.
we open house for art because sometimes some people from the neighbor, they want to go to see art to, if they like you, they can ask you to buy the house later.
that's right.
But none of them to buy it, from my own opinion.
Okay, so this is a very good observation. Often you don't actually sell a house from somebody coming to the open house and buying it. Like I would say 95% of the time. But
You get
The-
more- you
the
get more knowledge
neighbors-
about the neighbor, you get more knowledge about the house.
so the neighbors tell their friends
Yes.
who might have an agent. But that's okay, at least the neighbors are talking, and then the neighbors can tell their friends, and then their friends can bring the realtor, and then you can sell the house. You see what I mean? Like, it's not all about us trying to get business or whatever, or even that instant sale, but occasionally it does. We've converted people from open houses. Certainly, you meet a buyer and they could buy something else, right?
Mhm.
But that's a bit of a selfish, secondary reason to have an open house. It's a great reason for you, but really the needs of the client come first. Number one for me when I tell people is often, like for example, we have an open house on the weekend, but it came on the market during the week so that people come back to the open house and spend more time there. They have like a little more relaxed
So
time.
usually how many open house you do? For,
We do an open house for every listing,
for how many open house for one listing?
as long as it takes, until it sells,
Every weekend.
Or
every weekend. Condo or house,
Yep.
that's our rule.
Can you run through logistically how you run condo open houses?
Wait, Cass can tell you all about our open houses. How did it go on the weekend?
It was fantastic.
Fantastic. What did you do for the open house?
Well, I talked to people coming in.
No, prepare. How did you prepare for the open house?
We got comparatives.
Comparables.
Comparables, and I went through it with Lisa, she was with me, working there. And we went through the house and sort of looked at it ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much it.
Then what did you do when the open house came along?
Oh, we put out signs,
How many?
4,
4.
5 actually. There was one at the house already, and then we put that down at the street on Parkside, 2, and we should have put one closer to Sunnyside. But we did have it on Garden Avenue,
Yeah.
so it was on Ridley.
And Glendale.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, and, yeah, so then we had balloons on some. They do fall down, with the wings, so we need to figure that out.
The balloons?
No,
the signs.
The signs, like how do you make it stand?
You're a fancy technical person. You can do that.
But you've had these signs forever. Anyways, that's
Well,
all I was thinking.
She knows how to deal with it. She's,
Exactly. No, I'm saying help me fix it.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. It's a good observation.
Yeah, because when I went to pick them up, they fell down, so.
Okay.
Some weights or something on the bottom possibly.
Yeah, or anyway, and then,
So you put
made
the
sure-
signs out, okay?
Yeah, went in, took our shoes off and put out our sign-in sheets. And we left an area for cards for agents that came by.
How did you get people to sign up?
Oh, we just said, would you mind signing in?
And how did it work?
Oh, some said, yeah, sure, and then I go and look to see if it was legible.
John's.
Was that you, John?
do you guys use like this
Open House
physical Open House Pro or?
Both.
Yeah.
Depends on the person.
Yeah.
Some people are more technical than others.
Yep.
I
That's
prefer
true.
Open House Pro.
Is
Because
that,
you can't read your writing, my
Yeah.
writing.
yeah, is that, yeah. But then if they write it, then they don't want to be contacted anyways, right?
Well, then they'll just put a fake number or a fake
Yeah.
email.
Okay, so what is it? So my whole thing is inviting the neighbors. I actually send out a letter ahead of time,
Oh, yes,
inviting the neighbors.
and,
Because we want the neighbors. This is like the goal, as you said, you mostly get the neighbors in, you mostly get the neighbors in.
yeah, and Lisa did go around while I was setting up the, our signs. She went around 5 houses, 10 houses. I think she knocked on 15 doors,
Mhm.
invited people, and 2 people actually, 2 neighbors came,
Good.
yeah.
That is the goal.
So how many letters do you send out?
Well, you can do a neighborhood drop, but the whole point is that you don't want to do anything one-off. So if you get a lot of listings in a neighborhood, then do the mail drops, like the cards. But if you get once in a while and you're never going to go back to there, don't waste the money because I guarantee it's going to go in the garbage. The whole thing between all marketing is it's consistent. So what we do, if not, is you do 5, 5, and 10. That's 20. Easy.
5 and 10?
Yeah,
Five, 5 left, 5 right, and 10 across. Those are the people who care the most.
I see, okay.
You can door knock the whole neighborhood if you want
Sure.
ahead of time, which is great. But minimum would be 5, 5, and 10. But you do want people talking and you do want to meet them. It's the goal.
Do you hold a separate neighborhood open house or just invite them to the original?
Public.
The public?
Depends on the situation, but yeah. Okay, what's next? Target your name, marketing.
Target your marketing to active real estate agents who specialize in selling homes in this neighborhood.
Cool. So Chandra Chadha, do you guys know who Chandra is? He's a realtor, well, you would know him. So he texts me every time he gets a listing in the neighborhood that I live. Because he knows that I work there and I live there and I'd be maybe interested. So good on him to do that. It's good. It's a great idea. I sent an email, but those other realtors are your friends. Like they're the ones who are going to potentially sell the house. And 9 times out of 10 it is another realtor, right?
Can I share a thought about open houses?
Yes, please.
I think when we're doing open houses, we're trying to sell the house for our seller. And it's okay to get buyers to add to your list. But I think while we're doing it, we should really be protecting the rights of our seller for their privacy and safety.
Security.
For me personally, I usually have a sign on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for coming to this open house. This open house is to sell a house. For you to see the house, you will need to fill in our form. And you'll need to show us a picture ID before you see the house.
Nice.
That's a good idea.
Wow.
Christine Simpson. That's her MO.
Yeah. She's the only person I see doing it, and I do it too.
Good. I think it's great.
But you know what? If I could share a quick story, I know you have lots
No,
of
no,
things to say. I was selling 60 Home Heller in W10 a couple of years back. And the guy, I had this sign in front of the house, and I told the owners about how I do it, and he said, yes, that's a good thing to do. So the guy came to the house, and he was walking, very excited, and then he stopped dead and looked at the sign. Then he left and he walked out. And I saw him walking up and down the street, scratching his head. Then he came back and knocked on the door, and he said, who are you? I've been to hundreds of open houses. I never had to show an ID. Who do you think you are? I said, well, sir, if your mother was selling her house and she hired an agent, wouldn't you like to know who went into the house? He said, I never thought about that. So he came in, and that's the guy who bought the house.
Really?
Yes.
All right. That was good. You know what? This is a good tip. It's a great idea. I think it's fantastic.
I always make sure people know they have to identify themselves. I don't have to write on their license number. I just have to see that the picture on the card is the same guy who has that face that I'm talking to.
Right. It's good.
And the address is the same that they give me to.
Yeah. Plus you get accurate information.
Yes.
So Julie, what if someone doesn't want to have an open house whatsoever? How do you deal with that?
That's life.
All right. So what would you
It's
do
just the
with
same as
that?
staging. Like you can't
Yeah.
force people to do stuff.
No.
You encourage them to maximize the value and all that kind of stuff,
Right.
but it's really up to them in the end. I don't like force feed people.
If the buyer comes with agent, so agent leaves the car, so in that case also we need to information about buyers.
No, the agent is representing.
It's talking about direct walk-in.
That's correct. Yep. Keep going. Next one, I think we're here.
Chart, this one. Include the home in your company and MLS stores, allowing other agents to see the home for themselves.
That's an agent's open house.
Yes.
Do you do agent's open houses?
I do.
Does everybody here do
That's for
agent's
sure.
open houses?
Host them or go to them?
Go to them.
Yeah, well,
Host your own and go to them for others.
Host your own, does everybody host their own too? Agents open houses? I freak out when they don't allow me. When they don't have an agent's open house booked, I'm like, that is one lazy bum of an agent. Don't you think?
Well, I don't know, it might be a different reason, but I always do it.
The reason why I do it, not necessarily for anything other than the fact it shows up on the dailies list. It shows up on the list of the listings that are like, so for example, our office sends you that every morning. So it's one more reason. Like there's thousands of listings that come on the market every single day. You update the MLS every day. It comes out on Agents Open House. It's like a million different ways for them to keep being hit with it. If you only put it on the MLS once, you never rerun it, you never have an Agents Open House, you never change it for the public open house, you never change it at all, like, you're kind of doing nothing. You're kind of letting it sit. Have you done an Agents Open House?
Not at all.
There you go,
That's-
dude.
that's
This
all
is
they
why
do.
you're here.
Yeah, my
I
father
hope you're
did
learning
it.
lots today.
I
Get
am.
an Agents Open House book for this week, guaranteed. What you need is feedback from other realtors to tell you whether it's priced well, whether it shows well, what they think.
That'll make it easier to have that conversation with your dad about it's overpriced.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
exactly.
good idea.
Because you've got
The whole
now
TripAdvisor thing.
experts, other experts in the field, not just me, Dad,
Exactly.
right? Now you've got others.
Hi, what's this agent open house?
For agents.
Agent open house?
Yeah, it's
You
during
host
the-
the open house only for agents.
correct. I mean, if an agent wants to send their clients, they can, but it's during the day, during the week. They usually do 11 to 1, 10:30 to 12:30, 11:30 to 1:30, whatever time, sometime in that time period. And you give them a couple of hours to drop in. Do you get that email every day? That says, these are the area open houses?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. Do you get that? It's from the front desk. Caitlin sends it every morning. These are the open houses for the day. And that's all the neighborhood open houses, not just ours, it's every agent in all of the it's on the MLS.
Yeah, it takes like, I finally figured out
I
how to
look
get
at
it
it
in my
every
day, but
single
it's
day.
like, I look at it, I pick 5 or 6, and okay, I got a window, I got the time, I got the address, and if I'm in that area, I'm going.
That's me too.
Yeah,
Works.
yeah, it does work.
Yeah, it's a good system for the front desk to do. Okay, keep going.
Target active buyers and investors in your database who are looking for homes in this price range and area.
Target active buyers and investors in your database who are looking for homes in this. So that's when you have a database. Does everybody here have a CRM? We've been through this, right? CRM? What do you use?
Agent locator.
What's it called? Agent Care?
Agent locator.
Agent Locator? We're not speaking.
Mostly just my phone.
Okay,
Yeah, but I'm starting to.
that's progress, not perfection. That's what we call that.
Yeah. I'm
He
starting-
doesn't have anything, right? So we're going from 0 to, 10 here.
and
We're
then-
trying to get to 100. Okay, your phone is not a CRM program, but it is a bit of a database, right?
Yeah. And I'm starting to use all this, try to transfer it into the KW my age
Yes?
and
Bless you.
collaborate as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Collab. What do you use?
EH.
EH. That's KW. Do you like it?
I'm used to it. I know what to do now.
Oh, there you go.
It took a while to get used to it.
I know. What do you use?
I can get the
Same
same.
answers, Sim.
0. Kathy, what do you use?
Contact two of them.
There you go. What do you use?
Spreadsheet.
What is a spreadsheet? That's like at 5 or 5 here.
Yeah, it's just basic list.
You mean like,
Yeah, that's what we don't have, we use our phone, we use a spreadsheet, we don't.
I think that's
Yeah,
that's
welcome to
useful.
my world.
The funniest thing,
Yeah.
Trish taught our database.
Yeah,
oh, that's not.
that was the irony, like I was like, this is so wrong.
Yeah, that's funny.
But you're in a team, right?
Yeah. Yes,
That's what I said.
They have a
Yeah.
CRM.
we,
No.
no, we don't, no, we
They
don't,
use
we use our
spreadsheets.
phones. We use our phone.
And use
So the whole point of a database is, in this case, for example, we have like sections where you can say they have kids. So you can search our database and see who has children, or who lives in this certain neighborhood. or who, you know, is an investor, or who owns a condo, or whatever. So then I can pull all those people, and that's what they're saying. They're saying, pull your people who need this particular property or might be interested, and send them that information. You know, it's like, for example, we divide the agents up. We have East End agents, West End agents, Central agents. We don't send all our listings to all the realtors because, you know, I'm not really interested in a Thornhill listing. So don't bother, I've never seen a property in Thornhill or Ajax or Mississauga or anywhere else. So if you're sending me those listings, I unsubscribe because I'm not in that neighborhood. So we actually collect the cards from people who actually go to the agents' open houses or show them. And only target market those realtors and clients.
Thank you.
That's what you
Thank you
do.
for that. Okay, next.
Provide the seller with weekly updates detailing your marketing efforts, including comments from the prospective buyers and sales reps who have visited the home.
This is for you.
Okay, let's see.
It's called communication with your seller.
Right.
That is the way to keep the love. They love to hear from you. They love to know what's going on, right? They're stressed. This is their biggest, largest investment in their whole entire life. And all their money's on the line. And they're out of control. Totally out of control. They're sitting there waiting. They prep the house. They're staying out. They're doing everything you tell them to do. And nothing's happening until you tell them what's happening. They don't know. All they know is an appointment happened. They don't know the feedback. You know, they just need to know. Sort of like all of us. If you don't hear from a friend, they think that you're not a friend anymore. You know what I mean? So it's, they feel closer to you. You're more likely to get referrals. You're more likely to get a happy client at the end of the day. Love, 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 that's what we call it. Loving them. Okay, are we done? This is like half an hour? Did I totally ruin the whole day? It was important though, right? That was helpful, right?
Julie, I have a question, like,
Yeah.
seems like there's something called Brian Buffini referral, something that is
Yes.
also a CRM, the one we're talking
Brian Buffini has a CRM that you can invest in.
So it seems like you're using something called Contact Job or something.
Correct, yeah.
And the office have EH, so why, so from your
Everybody
experience,
has
which one
different
is like efficient?
Top Producer was the most popular for a long, long, long time. There's tons of them though. There's iExact, there's GoDaddy, there's GoGo Agents or something. There's a whole bunch of them. Mojo Agent, Mojo Dialer.
Yeah.
What do you guys use? I know you use Mojo Dialer, but what
My
else?
mom uses Mojo, I use Agent Locator.
Agent Locator.
Follow Up Boss.
Follow Up Boss is a popular one. So the key is to
There's
pick
some-
one and
There's
just,
some free,
some are free, maybe, I don't know.
No, you probably don't want it if it's free.
Yeah, it's not.
Except for the color.
I mean, just to
color
practice
yes.
for someone who's really, really new,
Mhm.
just to practice to see how it works. You know?
Well, once you start investing in it, you want to just do it.
Yeah, you don't want
But
to.
the Keller Williams has their own CRM, no?
Correct, and you
So
pay for
people
that.
use-
Yes.
No.
We pay for it. It's all part of our $10 a month or whatever. So yeah,
So you might as well use it.
might as well use it. Oh, I'm supposed to watch Holden Effective Open House. We've already talked about Effective Open House, right? We're passing on that one. Discuss communication checklist, page 22. All right. Who's up next? Laura, do you want to read this time? Do you have your book, or do you want to do it on this little 3-year-old thing right here? This is your communication tips.
Communication tips, okay, follow-up processes. Always ask and learn about your customer preferred communication method and timing. Like if it's a phone, email, text message, twice a week or once a week.
Okay, so that's just saying, you guys know, like, communication has changed a lot in the last few years, right? Some people communicate with me through Messenger, like from Facebook, some text, some email. I have a realtor that I know who does a lot of business and he won't handle text. I'm like, you don't do text, like, come off it, really? But he goes, well, I might lose the text and email is easier to organize, and he's right. So maybe email is the best idea. So you have to sort of do communication with your seller. What does your seller prefer? And Laura, if you were my seller, what would you prefer? What would you tell me?
If I was a seller, I like text.
You like text. So I would update you and say there's been 5 showings today or this week.
Yeah, because if I'm busy right now, I know when I open my phone, I'll see it there, oh, it's so much, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so you're a texter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I try to get more hold of the emails, so like easy to control everything.
It's
through
easier
emails.
through,
Yeah.
that's what I think too. So it's a combo. What do you use, Leslie?
Oh, I'd like a letter. No, I'm kidding.
Courier.
I'd like you to courier me a handwritten note. Keep Canada Postal Service. No, I'd be happy with a text or a quick phone call.
Okay, quick phone call.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Imagine, I'm old school.
I know. Honestly, a lot of easier communication is done by the phone still. So
Yeah.
that's the reality. You can communicate a whole lot more on the phone than you can through an email or a
It's
text.
less misunderstood.
Correct, and especially when it's bad news. Right. You know, be careful. Like when your parents, with your parents.
Yeah,
Don't text that.
Oh, man.
run.
Phoning them, saying, this is my new idea, this is what I want to do. We're gonna change the sign, so they're gonna be the same sign. We're gonna put info box flyers out there. We're gonna have an agent's open house this week, you know, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Cause I'm a keener.
How do you handle price reduction? Like, in terms of
In
communicating it to
person,
your,
in
or your
person.
first, yeah.
Yeah.
Sit across the table.
Yeah, and that's the same with
How do you
pricing.
justify
East
it?
side.
Won't they come back to you and say, well, you suggested this price, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah. This is a risk reward business, you guys. We're in, you know, commission sales, so you're giving them advice and it has to be the right advice. And you have to make it work. And you have to do whatever it takes to sell the frickin' property. No matter what, just like the open house, how many open houses until it sells? Oh, somebody was asking me about how to do an open house in a condo. Sorry about that, I missed that. What do you do? Yeah, you had those lofts for sale.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
What'd you do?
It's just difficult because that one doesn't have a concierge.
So that happens, so then what'd you do?
We put out all the signs, I think it was 5, and then I would stand by the door and ask people if they were here for the open house, and then I would sort of talk them up and walk them up to the unit. And then my mom was in the unit, and then she would sort of take them around the unit, and I'd go back down and wait for the next person.
That's what you do. Whether there's a concierge or not,
Yeah.
you have to do that. Concierge, you probably have to do it more, because they're keeping an eye on you, and they're like, no strangers are allowed in this building. So basically condos, you need 2 people. Security, walk them up. So basically what you ideally do is you're walking people up, you leave them there, and then you walk people down,
Right.
right? That's what you're supposed to, technically.
So at the beginning, when you're waiting downstairs, are you the one who will be screening these people to see if
Exactly.
they have an ID or
Sign
they're
in.
going there? Yeah.
Yes,
So you should have a sign up book there.
that's right. It's a good time to do it. Plus, you want to sort of gather more than one person. You can talk to them a bit, like you don't have to rush them to the unit. You can talk about the building, you can talk about the amenities, you can talk about the parking. You know, there's stuff to sort of loosen them up before they actually see it. How long have they been looking? How did they find the property? Did they see it on MLS? Did they see it on our website, Facebook? Where did they find it? Do they have a realtor or not? You know, all the little warm-up questions. You can ask them that while you're gathering more people in the lobby. That's what I would say. Keep it sort of flowing, add value to them. Okay, next communication tip. Laura, you're up. Dude, no texting. You're
My
on.
daughter, sorry.
Yeah,
It's very short.
I hear you.
Match style in person or on the phone. Always seek to match the communication style.
Okay, matching communication style. That's a big topic, not today's topic, but what does communication style mean? Well, some people are like really detail oriented, so they want a lot of detail, right? Have you guys heard of DISC profile?
Yeah.
Some people are like to the point, and they just want to know the facts, Jack. Stop wasting my time. Some people are like
Show
social.
me the data.
Communication style can be like a person, some person they speak a little bit like loud,
Yep.
some is slow.
Exactly.
You have to match that also comes part of that.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So
It's
I
part of
think usually the seller, they should know right away how much they sell it for and follow along.
See, certain people care about that.
Very-
That's their number one question, but some people are like, what are you gonna do for me? And some people are like, how much is your commission? And like some people have different needs than others, right? Some are, tell me what I need to do to prepare my property for sale, kind of stuff. It's different. Some are really interested in talking and some are not. And my clients better be interested in talking. Just teasing.
So always update should happen even when there might be no new information to share. If there is no news, consider if there needs to be changed, any conditions, price, or both.
Right, so if you're not getting any activity, you have to call them and say, did you notice that we're not getting any activity? How do you feel, right? Ask them how they're feeling. How are your parents feeling right now, right? I've got clients who have offers tonight and I tell you, they are like stressing out. My clients, I've got a new listing that's coming out this week, they're stressing out. How are they feeling? They want to be heard. They want to be telling me how much stress they're under. And I'm like sitting there going, you're totally right. This is normal feeling, let them feel like it's normal, like whatever your parents are going through and they're upset, they're not upset at you.
No,
It's not personal.
hope not.
No, it's emotional. They're feeling rejected, like nobody likes my property. and
But
Disappointed.
it's
Disappointed.
It's he's so emotional, like when it comes to that.
Yeah,
Like,
of
when
course.
Some agent came up and just drove and turned around and left, and I was there to greet them, and I don't know where the heck they went, and I was waiting, my dad said, "Can you call this?" Whoever came up, so I called the agent. He said that they were looking for the lockbox, and the customer didn't like the look of the property. There was no lockbox on the thing, but I mean, I was there to let them in, so that was just an excuse, because it.
And that happens.
I told my dad, suck it up. And that's the way it goes.
Well, that might not have been the message. No, it's more like, you're right, Dad. It's upsetting.
I said we were upset, but
That's,
nothing you can do.
we're just gonna carry on and we're gonna get it sold and we're gonna be together and I'm on your team and I'm like here to support you and like, that's your goal, you're the cheerleader. You're their best friend, you're putting your arms around them. Like my clients are preparing their house for sale and they're tearing their head out. Like they've got kids, they're getting divorced, they're gonna like freak out soon, and what do? I come over and I hug them and I'm like, you know what, it sucks, I totally get it. You're doing great, we're gonna keep going.
Yeah, this is social work.
It's social work, exactly, I think we're therapists.
We are.
It's all part of the gig.
So be prompt and respond as soon as possible or
On an
on an
expected.
expected schedule.
I hear that really good systematized teams, they call them like certain days, certain times. It's a good idea.
Never talk down, always communicate as a partner with your customer.
That's right.
Next one is keep a long, maintain a communication log in your each database, so you are always reminded of what was said and in the last contact, read your log before you call.
Another whole good thing about a CRM, for example, is that you know the names of their children, the names of their pets, the names of their, the people who referred them. All of those people, it gives you a reason to call them, and a reason to write them, and a reason to talk to them. But also, for example, I had a problem this year keeping a log, RICO complaint kind of thing where blah blah happened, and I had the log, so I was able to sort of show what happened. It's happened a few times. It happens when you sell a bunch of houses. Occasionally, I haven't been charged or anything, but you do need to have, an explanation of exactly what's happened, next steps, right? But I think a CRM is perfect it's really for referrals, keeping track of who referred who, making sure that the most important clients who give you the most business or whatever get the most attention. So if you just use your phone, it's very difficult to tell who's the most popular person.
Yeah.
Who's the one who sent you the most business. It's harder to track that.
Decision, make focus, always include all decisions makers.
Okay, do you guys do that when you're doing a listing presentation? Do you know what that means? Decision makers, make sure all the decision makers are there? Do you actually ask them before you come?
First time, no, I didn't.
And what
I
happened?
said, oh, my brother also owns the house, let me talk to them and then I'll call you back and then call you.
That's right. That is classic. You guys, we're all going through real estate, you keep making the same mistake over and over until you change, right? And I've done that too.
That was my first.
Big mistake, but it happens. So now you just say, so does anybody else? One thing is you can look at Geo Warehouse, but for example, Jen on our team did a presentation the other day, and it's an estate, and only 2 of the 3 siblings went. That's a problem. Now you need to talk to the other one. Good luck getting the listing. They don't communicate quite as well as we do, right? You develop the rapport, the emotional relationship. Whoever they meet with, is more likely. Like you developed that relationship with that Eric dude,
Yep.
and his friend was ignoring him.
Yeah, his friend totally ignored him. And he never ultimately had signed with him.
No, but
So
it was
he was
because you
like-
were there, dude. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Took 2 weeks. That's it.
So they should always be enthusiastic and positive.
Yeah. Didn't we just talk about that? You're the cheerleader. You're the one to hold them up, pull them out of their doldrums, keep them up and energetic when they're worried or nervous or whatever. Or they're tired of being out and not being able to cook at home, or, you know, all the things that sellers are going through. Did that help? Mm-hmm. Any questions? Are you guys writing notes or what's happening here? Everybody's on their computers. Are you guys writing notes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I got notes.
Are you writing it in a note thing or in this program, or where do you write it?
On paper based.
Kathy, what are you writing it in? So why is your computer open?
Because I'm following it.
Oh, are you following? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good, okay.
We're all following.
Okay, we're all following together. What's next?
Customer experience.
Do you guys need to maybe, why don't we stand up and just do a little, stand up, a little arm movements, a little stretch.
Stand up.
It's hot in here. Is it hot in here?
Yes, it is.
I know. Should we open that door a bit, or would that interrupt our loveliness?
It's a airflow?
Yeah. Oh, that door's closed too. Yeah, open that one.
AC on.
This is Joshua's. Thank goodness I've got Joshua here. He's keeping me on my toes. Providing an excellent, okay. What else, how much do we have to go through? I just want to make sure we cover it all today. Enhance your learning from ahas. You're going to have to do ahas, remember that. You know what ahas are?
What did I learn today?
What did I learn today? See? Okay, are you ready? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Wow,
Thank you.
you just know it all
Inside
around
track
here,
with
right?
you. It's fantastic.
That job really helped. Okay, so it's funny when these sound like basics, right? But for example, what you just said was if you don't ask for all the decision makers, what's gonna happen, right? You're not gonna get the listing. It's funny. It seems so easy, but then you have to actually do it. It seems easy to put a sign on your lawn or whatever, info box flyers, but what if they get wet or what if they run out? Like, you have to there's a lot of moving parts, That's why we get paid. People say realtors don't earn their keep, they earn their keep. Okay, an excellent customer experience will set you apart. What does that mean? What do you consider an excellent customer service experience?
I like to say that you have to do everything you promise them and do it more than what you promised them and be on time
Be on time and don't.
for everything.
So the thing about promising is that sometimes you want to promise a lot because you want to get the deal and the listing. So you tell them all these things that you're going to do. And then, like, I'm going to get it on all these websites, and I'm going to get all these photos, and I'm going to, do all the social media, and I'm going to, market it like crazy, and then tell all the agents. And so how do you do it? How do you get the listing and not overpromise?
You have to do the things you tell them that you will do.
It's more important to not lie. Let's just put it that way. To not pull the wool over their heads, and then at reality time, you're not going to do it. Because I guarantee that it's going to be a lose-lose at that point. More people are going to speak worse about you, especially an unhappy client, than getting a listing, I guarantee you. You're gonna lose more business from that. Because they'll tell two friends, who will tell two friends, and then the next thing you know is that's an asshole of an agent. Told me he was gonna do that and he didn't. So one of the things that I do, and just to avoid all that, because a lot of our clients know each other, right? Like over the years, they refer people and then they refer people and then they all seem to know each other. And then you say, then they're having a dinner party and they say, oh, Julie was your realtor. Oh yeah, wasn't she great? Yeah. How much did she charge you? And if you're not consistent, that is a problem. Oh, what gift did you get? Oh, what? Tell me about the marketing. Like if they start talking, did you see it on the website? Did you see? If you're not consistent, even with each other, they have to know that. So don't be like, oh, I do special things for you and special things for you, and this person is getting that and this person's getting that. It's just like we talked about. One thing and do it well. The next thing, do it well. Next thing and do it well, then you're not over-promising, right? You're just doing what you know you're going to be able to do. That was a little trick, just an FYI. Little tip. If you say you will communicate once a week, communicate twice a week. Good tip. Say your staging expert will be in touch with the sellers that week, then make sure the stager calls them. That's another thing. There's like a million things to do. You gotta stay on this sort of thing. Any other example that you think, like for example, you tell them when the sign goes up, and the sign has to go up. You tell them you're having an agent's open house, you have to have an agent's open house.
And then send them feedback.
You tell them you're gonna give them feedback, give them feedback. You know, like all of that kind of stuff.
So you take the pictures first? Okay, you take the pictures first before you do the listing, or you do the listing agreement first and then take the pictures? The professional pictures?
Usually I do the exclusive first. So prior to listing, we sign an exclusive agreement, which means that we know we're coming to market. And in that time period is the home inspection and the, photos and that sort of thing. Photos are usually last before it actually goes on the market.
Well, how long is exclusive?
Depends on how long, but usually it's a week or two. Some people do exclusive for months.
A month.
Yeah.
Do they get the house
Until they get
ready?
the house ready. I'm sort of more of a handshake kind of person though. I'm like really, but it's probably lazy on my part. It's probably a good idea to sign it. What do you do?
Well, the last one I did was 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't learn anywhere, so I just thought, okay, how am I gonna make sure that they're gonna list the house with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just do it exclusive until you guys finish painting and then, so I go every week and check how you guys do your
Good.
job, right? Or if they're coming nice, I think you good, and then, okay. And in the meantime, we did the photos, but we couldn't do the photos because it was not, the job was not completely done.
Right.
So we took photos for like, okay, this part is not going in the picture, right? But
So we literally do photos the day before it goes on. It's very quick because the photos are usually not ready until the place is ready. Cleaned, painted, staged. It's like a whole process of things to do.
so the
So
one before I did, I wasn't so sure when to do the pictures, so I went and signed the contract and he said, okay, tomorrow they'll come and do the pictures and you guys do it too. And then I go and take all, this one is going and this one is going, and say, because if I don't take it out, the guy with the cameras, he just take pictures of
That's
the
right.
whole mess. And I
That's
said,
right.
well, why? Nobody cares about it,
that's right.
right?
You're the one who cares. Very good point. We care the most about our clients.
So I make
So-
sure that everything is clean up.
I mean, the client obviously cares, but the home inspector
They
doesn't
don't,
care
they
as much.
don't know,
The floor
every
planner-
client is different, some clients are very neat, like
Yep.
you need to do no stitching, and some clients are just messy.
That's right.
So it's like, it's just nice, I want this picture like that, okay, let me just play a little bit.
That's right.
And it's very sensitive, like sometimes I feel bad to tell them that this is not the way it should be. You need to put all your
We
dishes
did talk
away.
about a lot about the staging in the beginning. Is staging, it helps
And
a
it's
lot.
very sensitive, I feel
It's
like
very
I'm not
sensitive.
offended, like, okay, you need to take all your stuff to boxes.
That's right. Totally. Absolutely. So, but again, it says here, be solutions oriented, and that's the whole theory here. We're not doing it for our own good. We're doing it for their good, right? All the suggestions we're making, even the feedback is for their benefit, right? And that's basically how you have to sort of put it. Yeah. So, how do you become the customer's hero? How do you become the customer's hero?
Over deliver.
Yeah.
Actually, I worked, you can say, quite some years in customer service field.
Yes? Oh, good.
I can say like the definition of customer service normally is like treating the customer the way you would like to be treated. So it's a simple question like how you would like to be treated. So the same way you treat the other customer. And I feel in this business is most about the referral business. So we have something called in customer service called wow factor. The wow factor is something like you go that extra mile. For example, you went inside and start vacuuming,
Yeah.
or sometimes there are some garbage outside of the house, but none of the agent, they don't go and take those garbage, but some agent do that.
That's
And
right.
some agent also help customer go ahead and help them in moving and all these things. So these are something that you create an experience in them, which may help you get more referrals in these meetings like dinners.
Dude, I couldn't have said that better myself. Did everybody hear that? That was awesome. Do the extra mile, go the wow
Something.
factor, right?
We say something like in these customer service, we use these terms.
Yeah. So wow factor and treat each other the way you would want to be treated. And part of that is, for example, knowing how much you want to know. Like imagine you being that person. Like for example, clients are at work and showings are on and nobody put the lights on. So you run over there, right? And you make sure. Or for example, you know, their kids or dog or whatever, like you can do tons of things, move the garbage cans in. I'm like cleaning around the light fixtures, light switches, you know, doing all that sort of stuff. I bring rubber mats for basement if it's unfinished basement so that they can walk along them, you know. Just little extras, just show up with stuff. It's a good idea.
Since this is like a learning session, I'm new to this field, but I got a listing for leads.
Yeah.
For leads, no one does open houses because it takes a lot of time. But I
Right.
did open house, and in that session, Remax saw the manager came,
Yeah.
and he said he just was a little bit surprised with the way some guy is hosting an open house for a lease. So he just came to check in. And I also cut the, you can say, there was a backside. He was trying to put it on lease, but backside all grass and all. I
Right.
tried to cut it, but owner didn't told me to cut it. But just sort of like
Good for you.
something like that. I think it helps to other guys when they have listing and all.
And also, they don't know what they don't know, so they may think it's normal. But you're right, this spring I had a listing where the house next door was vacant and they didn't maintain the property. I brought out my lawnmower, cut the lawn every time, like I do all that sort of stuff. My clients are like, you're cutting our lawn? Sunday morning, I'm out weeding it, I'm like, yeah, this is what we do. We're getting ready for sale, we're getting ready for showings. We'll clean it up, we'll move all the stuff out of the kitchen, all that stuff. We'll hide it for the staging or the photos and stuff, so. But part of it is actually talking it up a little bit, so making sure they know what you've done. Like, you don't have to be a hidden hero. I did tell my clients, I'm like, brought the vacuum over just to make sure that it was all clean before the showings. So it makes them feel good, but they also know what you're doing.
What, do you mean I didn't clean it well enough, Julie?
I know, that's the
Is that
thing.
what you mean?
No,
Yeah, me.
no, we're like trying to, I probably gave you a hard time, didn't I? No, but we are trying to like, not undersell ourselves either, right? We're trying to get the referrals, you're right. We're trying to build that. Oh, it's so funny, who will help you with staging? We sort of know all that. How to create, oh look, create a wow experience. What are your ahas? Probably don't have time. I'm bad at this, I should have given a little more time for the videos. Okay, providing terrific customer experience is the cement that holds a great seller business together. SUPER is an acronym for helping people. Sincerity, understanding, predictability, exceptionality, and responsiveness. SUPER, super. The relationship is bigger than one transaction. Okay, and I'm gonna totally ask Kathy again, only because she was a past client, so she knows. I would say right away you were really happy with the service, but what made you happy with the experience? She was very active and very talkative about it. What made you feel comfortable about using our team?
I just trust, and I trusted you guys, and that you would do what needed to be done. I was really wild that you guys got someone to come and wash my windows. Honestly, That
See,
was
little
amazing.
things, little extras, right?
And you guys were really good with my tenants, because I
Mhm.
had tenants, and one of them is a nurse, so she works 12-hour shifts, so she needs her sleep, so
We were careful about that.
we were, yeah, very, and I would prefer. I think I was really anxious about the whole sale and all that, because I was on a tight timeline
Mhm.
with the new condo, I had to move in, so, and it was November, so I was really, it was tight for me, and they, yeah, Julie did a great job. The videos were a new thing,
Mhm.
but overall, I would recommend selling your
There you
house
go.
over and over again.
That's a good plug. But do you
No,
see
but
what I mean?
then I
That's
asked
from
her
a
to
seller's
work.
point of view.
Then I asked her to work for her.
Yeah, and I said no for a long time.
Yeah. I said no. Nice job. Nice job.
Okay,
Yeah.
break into groups of 2, work with the different partners. Oh crap, I totally screwed this up. Practicing a listing presentation will make it seamless in front of potential clients. Incorporate what you've learned today to communicate the benefits and continue to practice. Okay, I think we're just gonna ask questions. So, what idea are you gonna take today and learn from? What are you gonna do today? After today, what new idea are you gonna use? One, you get one.
Okay, so one idea I think is the consistency.
Consistency.
Repeat it.
Same thing over and over and over for the same, each client gets the same experience.
Before I think different way, I think that every day we need to have something new, right?
Right.
Right now I hear from you that's consistency. It's
Exactly.
different from my thinking.
Good.
I think
We're gonna go everybody.
Yeah, I would want to learn how to be more,
Can everybody hear you?
I'd like to learn how to be more effective in communicating my thoughts. To say, to let the people know that I really care for their welfare. Communication.
Is this is great.
Communication,
Communicate how much you care.
yes.
That's a jewel right there. These are big points, you guys. These will change your business. One thing you learned today that you're gonna actually implement.
I think that almost the same thing about the communication with the clients.
What's that?
I don't think I do a good follow-up,
Okay.
okay?
So that's what you're gonna change?
Yeah, I think that's what I have to change, and if I say I'm gonna call you in 30 minutes, write it down as you said, the log, and have it as, because when you have one client, it's easy.
Yeah.
When you have a lot of people, and after a few months,
It's
and
messy.
very long, it's just like, who was this one, and I need that, the communication, have my log.
So you're gonna follow up is what I heard you say, right?
Well,
Write it down. What you told them, is that what you're saying?
yeah. Well, what was the last conversation we had? So that was,
Right.
that was for me, like, wow, yeah. It's just, even if you take, they take you to a week or something, yeah, it's good to have a
Yep.
story,
That's what CRMs are good for.
yeah.
Kevin, what are you?
Be honest.
Be honest.
You have a problem with that?
Good, good, yeah.
No. No, I just found out.
Somebody
not-
check his numbers.
Not really listing, but like for buying and leasing, like I usually talk to a client that I was really honest with her.
Yeah.
And in fact, that she was talking to the other agent and other two agent, she didn't sign. But I was really honest with her, so she decided to like go with me.
So it worked.
Yeah, and sign the deal with me.
Okay, good. Next.
Building relation more important than transaction. Long-term relation.
So what does that mean?
Because
Like, how are you gonna change
some
the way you
people,
speak to? Like, what are you gonna do different?
so I think some of the things which is about those, I think all these things comes to that, because when you're honest and being like true and you build that trust, and that trust will help you to take this relation in the long term, in terms of the brand and everything, so
So when you're listing a property, you're doing what you say you're gonna do. Is that what that is?
relation, like not thinking only about this transaction, but maybe tomorrow this person there is surrounding your life or me, so if you build a relationship, and you have an edge tomorrow at dinner for you.
So you're building the relationship. Okay, yeah, right here. James?
Discipline.
Discipline. What does that mean to you?
I find it's really easy to make a plan, and honestly, most plans work. Where everything sort of goes to shit is when, you know, you either decide it's not working, so you try to change your plan in the middle of the plan, or you're not holding yourself accountable and you're not actually reaching like the 4 10s midnight. I haven't been doing them well enough. But I think if you were to just do them at any cost, you would see results that you would.
No matter what.
Exactly.
That's what's in the Miracle Morning, no matter what.
Do you do the miracle one?
Yeah. No matter what. Okay.
Read the one thing.
I'm gonna start writing some checks.
That's right.
My little aha was your little nugget about the cards from marketing to the agents that have come through a listing. When you
Oh,
have
yeah.
another listing in the area. That's a great little nugget. Which I hadn't made the connection on, so.
Smart, because when you think about it, they have access to a bunch of buyers.
Yeah,
So it's like
Yes,
a
fantastic.
treat. you
It's
know.
the same as like you just keep building even your relationships with the realtors.
Right.
But they're definitely your number one people you want them to choose your listing over the next guy's listing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's based on you keeping on their case, just the same as you're keeping on buyers' cases.
And when you give, you get, though, you know?
That's right.
Like if you're going exclusive and you like tell your sphere of agents, what do you think they're gonna do next time?
They're gonna tell you. Go Kathy.
Anticipate, be a problem solver, anticipate there might be some issues and be prepared to at least have resources at the back of your head and front. Say plumbing issues, painters, people who declutter, storage lockers, all that kind of stuff.
That's a really great point, because people start freaking out when they're like, it's so overwhelming and what am I gonna do, and oh, I need a painter or something like that. So having those resources and being able to help them. Cleaners, another big one.
Homekeeper is a good solution for that.
Homekeeper.
Yeah.
It's an app where you can like sort of save all your business contacts.
And Melissa just sent one yesterday, right? She
Yeah.
sent a list.
They just created one.
Yeah. She likes spreadsheets just like you do.
I'm all over it.
What's your one aha?
I think the wow factor, not to overpromise and not deliver. I
Yeah,
think that's very important, so I think it kind of intertwines the points up there.
yeah.
Also, agent open houses, stuff like that.
So take one sheets.
Joe?
Take one sheets.
Well, I was going to originally say what Leslie said about the
What she said.
business cards. My second one would have been that I'm going to have an info box and I'm going to have
Oh, there you go.
work on a revised feature sheet to put on that info box. There you go.
Your clients will be happy with that, and you'll be happy with that. Okay, so what are you gonna do before the next class?
Drink heavily.
It's early in the week, it's too early for that. How about we sell a house?
Sell a house.
Yeah,
Let's
how
sell a
about we
house.
sell a house? Wow,
Sign a
wow.
client.
New and exciting, right?
Why can't those things be,
And then I'm gonna drink heavily.
Yeah, we can drink and
Before,
sell a
during,
house.
and after.
No, after.
Okay, so tomorrow morning you have your call-in groups, right? And everybody's in a call-in group? Everybody
Yeah.
shows up, you're not in one?
Nope.
We are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
you're
not
in.
everybody shows up.
Not everybody shows up.
Who doesn't show up?
They're not here.
You don't show up? You don't like calling groups?
It's hosted by yours truly.
You're doing it?
No, Tyler.
I know. He's doing one.
You wouldn't come.
Is it
Lizanne
all
does
one
one.
group?
Lizanne does one.
Lizanne does a group? Who's in Lizanne's group? All right, not you. What group are you in?
Not in any group. I am.
I think you are in a group.
Yeah.
You are. Are you avoiding it?
No, no.
These are really good. This course is like awesome. This is like the real deal. This is like the real life stuff. It's not just book stuff. Whatever we talked about today, you can actually apply in your real business.
And they will go.
You never call people? No. Why would I do that? Generate, build relationships, whatever. Follow up, who knows? People
Who
can
needs
use
it?
They'll just find.
Out of the 49,000 other realtors on the real estate board, or 47 or however many millions of
It's over 50.
57. Just keep growing and growing. Well, this is how you differentiate yourself. Coming today, good job. So congratulations. You can pat yourself on the back and you have to fill out your little form about how much you enjoyed your class today. See, that's it. Pat yourself. That's it. Good job. Awesome. Thanks, Julie. Make sure you fill out your form. Read.
Did instructor follow the